think Costa Rica is a country that has very high level of education, and that allows for people to have creativity and initiative. So this country, I think, is a good source of not only entrepreneurship but also companies coming here and settling here. I think there's a lot of creativity. We see a lot of entrepreneurship in different areas, including in technology, in biotechnology. In Costa Rica, there's a lot of people who are working now on robotics, even movie making and movie editing things.
The flip side is that entrepreneurship is something new here and in probably the rest of the developing world. So the culture of startups, the culture of a community of startups and helping out everyone, and those things that we talked before of being comfortable with risk and comfortable with starting new things, this is not something really common in Costa Rica. So the ecosystem has a lot more work to do in creating a culture of starting companies and risk and cultural acceptance of failure and these things that are important.
I think where there is an issue right now is that it's very bureaucratic to start a business. So it takes longer to get your company going, to get work permits and government facilities than it does in other countries.
Male-driven, technology-driven.
Technology-driven. I think it's not that females are not accepted. It's just that females are not knocking on doors, because it's not like they have a restriction for females. It's just that they're not coming for some reason.
Mexico, I think, is growing the entrepreneurial thing, but for women. But I think it's in the classic entrepreneurship, not for technology. So it's very hard to find CEOs, CTOs, like in technology, or people that is like full-time growing a company that is in technology. So here in Mexico, I think that is growing, that we need time, that we're near in the basics, but it's growing, but nowadays we still need more women in this. Okay, the society expectation of Mexican women. I think here in Mexico, we can work, it's not like you can work, but the society expectation is like, okay, you go to school, you learn, you go to university, you go out, okay, you can work, but find a boyfriend because he's the one that is going to save you. And you have to marry with, I don't know if it's the same in every country, but like here in Mexico, it's like, if you don't marry like 25 years, you are like, oh, you are an old woman that is not married, and you are judged by the people and your family.
I think in Hispanic cultures, like, women are expected to get married and have children and hold a job, but also take care of the home. And if you're gonna venture out to be an entrepreneur and start your own company, like, you will have probably not life. Like, your life is gonna revolve around starting that company and making it work, because it's like a baby. You need to give a lot of attention for it to work. So maybe in the analysis of what I want to do with my life, and if I'm expecting to have a family that I will have to take care of, a more traditional path where I I have a job, I have a salary, I have my maternity leave and stuff, is more comfortable, or to decide to take that track instead of just like venturing into, you don't know what's going to happen. Like, you maybe have a great idea that works really well, or you just had an idea that it didn't, and then you're just there.
Okay. The expectation for a woman is like you stay at home, attend the kids, or take care of the family. You cannot get a good offer. Mexico tradition are like, if you are a woman, you need to know, or you should to know how cook, how do chores, and take care of your kids and nothing else.
Here in Mexico City, the people is more like open mind, but in the the cities like around Mexico, that it's not this Mexico City, DF, like they are like in this whole thing, like you have to marry, find a man, and they can save you about everything, and you don't worry about your career. So like I think maybe women that we are taught that women have to be safe from these men that I don't know where it's coming. I don't have nothing about marriage, and I don't have nothing like against marriage and boyfriend. I don't know. I don't have anything against that. But I think the mindset about you have to be saved is the bad thing. So
There is an expectation of us women that we are just superhumans, that we're able to do everything well. And I think it's fine if the world wants to believe that, but it's not fine that we let the world impose upon us any expectations, whether it's super women or anything. So even if we decide to be full-time mothers, Costa Rica is a country that is pretty favorable in general to women. Women have as good rights here as they have in most countries. We obviously need to have more, and we need to have more incentives. But even the Congress has a law that you have to have a certain number of people, women, there and in government as well. And even though I don't believe in general in quotas, I think quotas are useful at the beginning. So I think this country is as good as an environment for women to flourish as any in general. It has men are more friendly and less machista here than they are in a lot of other countries. That being said, we have a lot of work to be done, and we still have issues of income inequality, because you have women and men doing the same jobs, and yet women make less money. And I think one of the things I've noticed in my dealings with women and men is that women have a harder time negotiating salaries for themselves, demanding when a feedback is given or an annual review is given, demanding that they want higher salaries or that they want an explanation on what was given as to their performance. So I think we as women need to fight a little harder for our own economic income and economic distribution than we are.
Yeah, people think we are mad or crazy for do that. The traditional people is against to work in a startup. First of all, your friends is like, I support you, but I think it's a bad idea, and that's it.
I think people, it's like a lot of people in, like, for example, internet, they're always like haters, and the hater is gonna hate. But there are a lot of haters, and the people say that no, why only women, and no, why only girls, and no, you feminists, go away. And I don't know, like, people think that feminist is something wrong, and they don't know exactly what is the meaning. Maybe because they think we are telling them that women is better than men, but it's not that. Like, feminism, it's all about like women equality and people equality, and it's all about that. It's not like telling you that we are better than men, and we don't want to say that. We just want to empower women. So that machismo is like something hard here in Mexico, because like men are the ones who have to do this, women have to stay at home. So for us it's hard to make this happen in our country that has machismo.
In general, not my perception, but in general, it's probably that women entrepreneurs are worse, or women entrepreneurs are less efficient. It's primarily because of cultural things. But really, sort of sophisticated investors or other entrepreneurs or business people recognize when there's passionate women entrepreneurs that are driving a business. society downplays the role of women entrepreneurship a lot, and it's stupid. I mean, women entrepreneurs should be highlighted more, should be showcased more, and should be given more opportunities and openness so that they can expose their ideas, become entrepreneurs, or participate in a startup.
When I go to places with executives, sometimes they are male executives, and yet a lot of times in the meetings, the counterparty still face the men when they're talking to us about business propositions. They still don't look at me. So it's interesting because a lot of men either think it's the men who are the bosses and they discount, and later on they're surprised when they see my business card and I was the CEO, and all of the times they were not even looking at me in the eye in the negotiation. And also sometimes it works to your advantage because you know what? Once you are dismissed and discounted, you actually have an edge because people lower their guards and they underestimate you. So you can complain about it or you can use it to your advantage. And I have chosen, when it's in my case, I have chosen to use it to my advantage. When I see it done to other people, I try to change it because not everyone is as lucky as I am to be the owner of the business. So if men want to do business with me, they have to deal with me under my terms and my conditions. But other women don't have that choice. So even though I choose how I react to it, and sometimes I may want to use it to my advantage, I think it's my duty to make sure that no women suffer that under my businesses and under my watch. So I think we are allowed by nature, we are endowed by nature with the capability of multitasking. And I really believe about, that we are actually given attributes and talents when we're born. And I really believe it's our duty to execute them and use them to the utmost ability. If someone has physical energy and mental energy and spiritual energy and we don't use it for the better, aren't we actually shortchanging, whoever it is that gave them to us? If it's God or whatever we believe in, if it's our parents. I think we have a duty to do things, and we have a duty to do things today. So I may not be around tomorrow. So if I don't do everything I want to do as much as I can without losing sight of that which is most important, because I think one can do a lot without neglecting your family, which I think is the most important thing. But so I decided to do a lot of things, and one thing leads to another, and they actually complement each other.
Women are sometimes even more disciplined, are more creative, and actually are able to manage risk much better than men. But because of the combination of all the things that I talked before, cultural aspects, women not feeling sort of comfortable in taking big risks and big challenges, professional challenges. So I would hope that there will be a lot more women that have the sort of the courage, the ability, and the resources and the mentality to start companies, because they don't have anything less or to be afraid of compared to men.
We are usually more organized, and we are more we follow through more our plans and are more schematic of what we want to do. And if you're starting a business, that's really important thing, that you have people that are very organized, very dedicated. I think every girl should dare to be wise and explore her interests, her emotions, her culture and other cultures. I always remember when I did my exchange in Spain that I met this guy that was from Spain, and he always said he didn't understand why there were so many boundaries around the world. So I think we should just dare to be wise and explore the world, which right now we're just one with all the connections we can do, from China to Puerto Rico.
When I was younger, I want to start more things and be creative, and sometimes I say no, maybe later. and tell that later. I think now I'm doing the things that I want to do now, but in that time I was like, later I can do things more later when I have more, when I'm more prepared. And the truth is that now I realize that you are never prepared to do things. So you have to start doing it, because if not, the time is going to move fast. So
My favorite poem actually is called The Undiscovered Country. The Undiscovered Country basically talks about that mankind has dared to go places. It has dared to cross oceans. It has dared to find technology, go in outer space. It has had bravery to go where no one dares to go. You know, to discover, to conquest, to find. And yet there's one place we don't dare to go, that we're scared to go. And that is the undiscovered country of thyself. We are afraid to go into our inner souls. We are very afraid to go inside and see what we find. And a lot of us see outside and can actually be very intuitive and see people and understand them. And this is what this is the personality, and this is the attribute of this one. And I can see this, and I can see this vision, and I can create this value. But that place, we're afraid to go. We're afraid to go inside because we're afraid what we're going to find. And that fear and that insecurity stops us from being what we can be. So my invitation would be to all the women: explore yourself, see yourself as you really are, not as someone else wanted you to be, but be what you really are inside, and lead a life that is congruent with your inner self. And then we're going to be so happy that we're going to be able to jump from that platform and just do amazing things for us and amazing things for others. You know, when we are at the end of our lives, what we're going to see in the end, we're going to see flashbacks of moments in our lives, and we're going to see a summation of what we did and didn't do. But the person that is going to be saying, why did you fail me? It's our own selves. So the one we have to look at is that woman in the mirror that is the true me, that is going to say, why did you, or why didn't you, or thank you for doing it. So I really believe that we have to see that woman in the mirror and make that woman happy.
A todas, ¿cómo están? ¿Están felices? ¿Quieren aprender mucho? Bueno.
I'm in blank. Very bad at this.
that's when I realized that
Unknown areas. Oh, dare to be wise, unknown areas. Okay.
If more Chinese women dare to be wise, the world is going to become a better place, and China is going to become a better place.
Unknown Area Studio. Isabel!